this is like the fifth time I have started this thing. I keep stopping and starting over because I'm like, oh, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I mispronounced a word. It's not perfect. Everybody on YouTube's gonna hate me. It is what it is. You know, at this point, I mean, it's my first attempt to create a YouTube video, and so at this point, I'm just gonna power through. You know, as Hillary Clinton would say, just powering through. Just do it, buddy. Just wicked hard. Just plugging away. So, hey, here's the thing. My name is Duke, and I have wanted to get into the YouTube fandom menace thing here for a little while. Let's do sort of the 2-minute biography. I am a lifelong comic book fan, so that is 51 and 1/2 years of wholesome comic book goodness. But never did it anything with it professionally. It was just strictly a hobby. The last 15 years, I was a newspaper reporter. Don't get any crazy ideas. I wasn't this wild investigative reporter. I was just working on small town weekly newspapers, the real nuts and bolts reporting, covering school board meetings and town councils, high school graduations, feature stories on Opportunities Prize Pig, that kind of thing. And right about October, last few years were just absolutely miserable. And round about October, I decided, you know what? I've had it. I am going to, I laid down the law. I had what I call a John Galt moment. I said, things are going to have to change. And so I made that demand, and what came of it was they decided that, okay, what they'll change is they'll change me. So you know how it is. Sometimes the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sometimes the squeaky wheel gets taken off, replaced with another wheel that'll keep his damn mouth shut. And so, with Maine the way it is right now, the media landscape, pretty much everything is consolidated down into one corporation that owns pretty much everything, big and small. So if you don't work for that corporation, you don't work. But it's okay, because I was really burnt out on it, and ended up getting a job. Actually, I was already working part-time doing it, so just transitioning to full-time was no big thing. But got a job working with comics full time, so yay. And was doing it for the exact same money I was making working on these small papers, so it wasn't a hard decision to make. But the thing was that there wasn't a lot of brain power, let's say, that was required in doing this, doing the what I was doing at first was listing comic books online on the eBay site for this company. I won't mention them because, this isn't a commercial. I'm just letting you know what I do and why I'm here. So I was listing the books online for this company, just creating eBay listings, scanning comic books 8 hours a day. And that did not, as I said, require a great deal of gray matter, which was perfect, because at first what I needed was to just decompress. I was so uptight, so wound up, so burnt out. So for the first couple of months, that was perfect. And that's all I did. I just zoned out and scanned comic books 8 hours a day. But then there came a time I needed something to do. So I started listening to YouTube videos while I was working. Just had the phone going, listening to different things, and I discovered all kinds of different channels. Nerdrotics, Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, Doomcock. And so I really kind of got into that and thought, brother, I could do that. I have things to say about comic books. I have been a super comic book geek for, as I said, 51 and 1/2 years. And so I thought I might have something to contribute. So I was going to start here today with a live stream on comic book grading, which is what I do. I've sort of switched over here recently to I grade the books, then pass them off to somebody who does the actual scanning and listing. And then they go up on eBay. So all of these books you're going to see me do here will probably be on eBay next week, the week after, depending on what the workflow looks like for the other two guys who do all of the scanning and listing. And we also have, by the way, a retail store that we just opened. So there will be some things to talk about there from time to time as I do these. But as I said, I was going to start off with a live stream going through grading. I thought that'd be fun. We'll talk about books. We'll talk about how we grade. That might be enjoyable for people to listen to. But as I went to fire up the live stream, and I figured, heck, I've got 0 subscribers. It'll give me a chance to work out the bugs. You know, I'll and I know a live stream probably isn't technically the way you should start. But what I found out is, according to YouTube, it is 100% absolutely not the way you start, because they've got a rule, apparently, that you cannot do a live stream unless you have 1,000 subscribers. Not coincidentally, that's the same amount of subscribers you need to get monetized. And I'm hoping I have something to contribute. I'm hoping that, I might get excited. I don't know how I'll ever be invited to the High Council, but maybe I've got something to contribute that people will want to watch. But I don't have any hope of actually, getting monetized. But now apparently I don't have any hope of doing a live stream, because the camera on my phone that's it, buddy. That's all I got. So I'm recording this. It's probably not going to be that long. I've babbled here for 6 minutes already, and I'll go as long as the camera will let me, basically, until I run out of memory. My iPhone's probably like a 5, 5.5, 5.5. What do they call it? 5.5, 5S? I don't know. Clearly, I'm a Luddite. So anyway, let's get right to it. What I do with the grading. And so I've got a stack here of Fantastic Four, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, the golden age of the Marvel age, as it were. And I'll just kind of go through it, and I'll put it up. And then, if you think you're grading those books entirely wrong, you're thug. You're part of the patriarchy. You're a white nationalist. Yeah, that's right, because you're doing everything wrong. Put it in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. So anyway, here we got what I got. Fantastic Four 69, and I don't know how well you're actually going to be able to see this. So this could be an absolute 100% failed experiment. But we've got a giant subscription crease going right down the middle there. And for those of you who don't know what a subscription crease is back in the day, you won't believe this if you're a recent comic book fan, you won't believe that they actually used to have comic book subscriptions that you could get your comics right through the mail. But they actually used to fold the books. They would put them in a brown wrapper, and the book would come to you in the mail, folded right in half. And so that's why we've got that crease right down the middle that goes the full length of the book. And so with that, when that happens, we're really not going to be much more than a 3.0, I don't think. I've got this little cheat sheet that I use with the number of defects. I've got my Overstreet grading guide. I've had this since it first came out in 2003, I think. And in here, they've got, if I can find the page, kind of a chart of the minimum and maximum number of defects for each grade. And I just sort of use that as a basis. Comic book grading is subjective, so it's not the be-all and end-all, It's not a hard statistical, you've got 7 defects, so you can absolutely be no more than a fine minus. I'm old school. Actually, I still say fine minus rather than 5.5. Actually, when I first started, they didn't even have the minuses and the plus. It was just, Overstreet just had near mint, fine, and good. That was it. You didn't even have very good or very fine. Those came along, and now we've got this whole 10-point thing. So it's kind of like learning to speak French. I have to think it in English, translate it to French in my brain, and then say the French. So I think in terms of fine, very fine, near mint, rather than 6.0, 8.0, 9.2, or 9.4, I should say. But anyway, this thing's got a giant subscription crease, so I think that's probably going to be not more than a 3.0. And what I usually do is, we see we've got some Marvel chipping there, but I usually don't take off for that unless it's really ragged. I can make sure I'm centered on the video. Basically, Marvel books, I don't know exactly where they were printed. I don't think they were, at this point, this is 67? Yeah, so this book is December 67, so they were dated about 3 months before or 3 months after they actually hit the stands. So this book would have come out about about a month and a half or so before I was born. 2 months before I was born. So this book's older than me. So it looks pretty good. I mean, I know what kind of condition I'm in. So, you know, a 3.0 is not that bad. That's probably what I'm going to end up calling this, is a 3.0. But anyway, what I was saying is that wherever they were printed, and I don't think it was at Spotter at this point. If you know where they were printed, Marvel books were printed, let me know in the comments below. But whatever press it was like about 1/2 step above the Charlton presses. I mean, Charlton, you could get a splinter reading a Charlton comic book with giant pieces of wood grain in the paper. But Marvel tended to have a lot of this uneven cutting. But I don't usually take off for it unless it is, you know, pretty bad. This paper quality is okay. It's kind of browning there around the edge. You can see we've got a little bit of a 1/4 inch rip right there. And then I like to flip through the book, make sure nothing's been cut out. I also just like looking at the artwork too. Working my way towards the centerfold to make sure that that is still tight. Oh, look at that. The pages are folded. I'll leave it. Sometimes I'll undo a break or a fold. And then check the staples, make sure everything is good. Look at that. The Beatles. You didn't know the Beatles? I'm trying to do a Beatles accent and I realized it was like 2 syllables and then I was like, abort, abort, abort. Nobody's gonna watch this, but I'm having fun. I'm entertaining myself. You didn't know the Beatles had a cartoon, did you? I don't think I knew that. This is probably, well, as I said, it is before my time. I mean, I've seen the Fantastic Four cartoon and the Spider-Man cartoon, but I don't know if I've ever even on YouTube seen what the Beatles cartoon looked like. I'll have to look that up. So anyway, the staples are nice and tight. We've got the same browning here. And some damage up here in this corner. Again, I gotta figure out where I am to make sure I'm actually on the screen there. That's kind of a... Maybe I want to change this just a little bit. There we go. I don't know if that actually did anything. Just put it more in my way, actually. I usually do this without my contacts in. Because I'm at the point where when I have my contacts in, I need reading glasses. This is pretty ragged. Well, not ragged, but, you know, it is what it is. So I usually have the book like about 1.5 inches from my face when I'm doing this. So this is kind of weird, too. Kind of making sure you can see it. I'm still trying to see it myself. Anyway, so that was a lot of babbling just to get to a 3.0. So what I do is I write it down on a sheet here. And I'll put sub fold for the person who does the listing, because what we do is the grade will be in the title of the book, and then in the description we will list any defects that aren't immediately noticeable from the scan. With singles like this, we scan the front side and the back side. Now we jump right to 97, from 69 to 97. This is a better looking book. This one still has some nice cover gloss. You probably actually could have noticed. You might have, but I don't think you could see with that one we just looked at that the cover gloss was mostly gone. So let's look at this. And usually what I do is I start with the corners. Ooh, you get a little rip there. I don't like that. About 1/2 inch. Look all around the edges, the corners. That's... You can see, I don't know how well you'll be able to see. It's a lot of creasing and folding there. Ooh, that's an actual chunk out. See, with my reading glass. Oh, it goes to the first page, too. Look at that. Can you see that? That almost looks like a chew. Looks like somebody took a bite right out of that one. Huh? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy, man. I have no idea how long this video is going to go for. It'll probably shut off at some point. Be like, you're out of memory. That's all for you. No more. You come back 1 year. Oh, can we read this? So, this is the statement of ownership and circulation. And so, at this point, the circulation for Fantastic Four was, if I can find it, paid circulation, total paid circulation, average number of copies each issue during the preceding 12 months, 240,000 363. Single issued nearest to the filing date, 330,000. You jump from 240 to 330 for your average over your 12 months. What would have picked up around this time? Picked up the circulation. I would have thought that it was, well, of course you always see that the most recent to filing date is higher than the 12-month average, but that's quite a pickup. I'm not 100% sure I believe that. But still, at any rate, the circulation, even if we take the 243,000, that's quite a bit more than modern comic books, where Fantastic Four today is probably, if we went to comicron.com, oh, look at that, centerfold's detached. If we went to comicron.com, which is where you can get a lot of, I'm trying to do this carefully and talk at the same time, and I'm kind of not that talented, it appears. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, comicron.com, you can get the sales figures for comic books. And when we say sales figures, what we actually mean is the sales from Diamond Distributor to comic book stores on a non-returnable basis. Stores usually buy one or two more copies more than they think they can actually sell, just in case. So you're not talking actual sales to readers, you're talking sales to comic book stores. And it's probably Fantastic Four. It's probably about 40,000 copies right now. So is that detached or not? I'm going to have to just do a little test. No, it is detached. No, I mean it is attached. So look at that. Kirby monster. I complain about modern comics having too many full-page splashes, but Kirby was kind of the master, and that's kind of cool, but probably didn't really need to be a full-page splash. You'll find I have lots of crazy ideas about comics. So with that rip and the chew and the other stuff, even though it does have not a lot of spine tears, I'm still going to call that I could probably call it a 3.0 still, even though it's got that and that. A 3.0 is a good, very good. I could probably even, nah, I can't go there. Yeah, I'm still going to call it a 3.0. Like I said, it's a subjective thing. I probably put way, because I'm talking to you, I put way more. I would have done that in like about 90 seconds if I'd just been working. So my boss probably isn't going to be too happy with me doing this. But 1 inch. Front cover. Three-quarter inch chew through front cover plus first 3 pages. What was I saying? This is going to be a failed experiment, isn't it? I have no idea where I was. I completely lost my train of thought because I was thinking too hard on this. Yeah, so it's taking me a lot longer to look at that. Why would somebody do that? Well, I was dumb. It's taking me a lot longer to do this than I figured it would. What I was saying, though, if I get my brain back in gear, was that this is completely subjective. So even though that apparently, that 3.0 apparently seemed less damaged than that 3.0. I mean, they both did. That had the big subscription fold. That had the 2 chunks out. I probably could have got away with calling either of those a 3.5 or a 4.0, but I like to be a little tough. I want people, when they buy a book from us, to know it's going to be that grade, you know, at least. You know, it could be better in there, because, I mean, everybody's different. But I don't want somebody to complain that, you know, well, you know,
you said this book was a 4.0, but it's really a 3.5, so, you're just part of the patriarchy, and you're a white racist.
That's what I don't want. So I probably could have called those a little higher, maybe. I don't know. But this book, this one, Doomsday on the Moon, I think this one I'm probably going to go a little higher on, looking through, make sure it doesn't have anything cut, make sure the centerfold staples are nice and tight. That's cool. That's a Kirby leap if I ever saw one. It was right around this point that Kirby was starting to get a little stale, in my opinion. I came along in the mid '70s, and by that time, I hated Kirby. Kirby, Ditko, Swan, Heck, all of them. I was like, boy, these guys suck. But then I discovered their earlier work, and I'm like, holy fuck, they're geniuses. And I think what happened is just as you get older, and especially as you're working for basically peanuts, your hand builds up a sort of memory of its own, and things start to get a little static. And things look like, you've drawn Mr. Fantastic this way 1,000 times, so what's 1,001, right? I think I'm going to call this. Usually what I do is I first I make a snap judgment, and I pick that up, and I was like, that's a fine. And then I go through and look for defects. But I still think, because we get this corner up here, that's a little chip. Sorry if you heard me kind of burp there. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 color breaks. Some bumping down here, some bumping on that edge. The straights. So it could be a 6.0, but I'm going to call that I'm going to do a 5.5. 5.5. It ain't 6 alive. So there's no defects to note, really. All right, so I'm going to start kind of moving a little faster, I think, because I need to pick up the pace. And this has been 22 minutes already. So assuming I even bother to post it, I don't know who's going to watch it for 22 minutes. Watch me babbling and grading comic books. Is that an actual rip? Again, I've got to... No, it's just a massive color break. All right. Ooh, some foxing. See, can you see this kind of soiling here? And you got to kind of look carefully to see, is it just soiling? Is it just dirt? Or is it actual foxing? Foxing is basically the very beginning stages of mold forming. And actually, I think that is not foxing. That's just soiling. That was just rubbed on a dirty surface for way too long or too hard. I like this survey from Marvel Comics circa 1968. As far as I'm concerned, these are Marvel's best pencilers, inkers. I mean, did the average comic book fan of the late 60s really... I mean, even then you had, fanboys and you had normies. You had a lot more normies. But, I mean, did they really know their inkers? I don't know. This is weird, though. Hey, man. I'm trying to do that in Stan Lee's voice, and I can't do it. These are my favorite types of plots. Comic books don't even have plots these days. These are the kind of yarns that turn me off. The swinging 60s. Turn me off with your yarn, man. Wow, these are the type of mags you should do more of. And more what? More Millie the Model. If I were you, Stan, ugh. What is that supposed to mean? If I were you, Stan, ugh. These are the changes I'd make to Marvel, and you get this much space to do all the change. I would need this entire book plus 3 more to fill out all the things I would change about Marvel these days. And don't even get me started on DC. I wonder how many people actually fill this out. Okay, pencil pusher, time's up. Clip this out. I have never honestly come across a book with one of these clipped out. And you didn't have really photocopiers then, did you? They would have had to have clipped it out. Well, they could have just done a piece of paper and just mailed in a letter or something. But like I said, I've never come across a comic with one of these cut out. And it said it to Stan Lee's Little Survey. And there's the address of Marvel at the time. Thanks a heap, hero. And consider yourself no prized. The good old no prize. What's his? Nobody Loves the Hulk. Great new rock song. You know, my boss is going to be pissed when he sees these videos because I am taking... I'm taking way too long. I'm pointing stuff out to the viewer, and now I'm like, oh, look at this, look at that, look at this other thing. Oh my God. Oh, well. So anyway, where the hell was I? Yeah, we're looking at the front page. There's Ben and his tidy whities. No, I guess those are his ski pants. All right, well, have at it, bro. Look, he thinks he's, who was the guy from the New Gods? I want to say Rocket Racer, but that's not right. What was the name of the guy from the New Gods who the brown bomber? No, that's not it. You know what I'm talking about. The New Gods who went around on skis because skis were the silver surfboards of the 70s. Crazy. All right, I don't know. If you know the answer, leave the comments in below. So that's probably a good 6-0. I mean, that ends tight. It's got a little bit of thing going on there. And I guess, again, I'm not really sure. I'm not taking pains to line this up with the camera. That's a pretty significant break, though. And you got a little non-color bend here in this corner. So I'm going to call that I think 1, 2. Nah, I'm going to go 5-5. 5-5. 5-5. So I think actually what I'll do here is I'll go an hour, and that should take about, on my Wi-Fi and my DSL line, that should take about 10 hours to upload to YouTube. So, assuming I can figure out how to get it off my phone and onto my laptop. Look at that, issue 100. You will never in your life will you see a Fantastic Four number 100 ever again. They will reboot to number 1 every 25 issues. Although I don't think we have too many more 25... we don't have any more quarter century of issues to go before there probably aren't going to be any more comic books if we believe Ethan Van Sciver and those folks. I don't know how I feel on that, where I am. So there really aren't any spine ticks to speak of. There's a few. 1, 2, 3. This one's much closer to a 6. It probably is a 6. I don't think I want to call it a 6-5. Paper quality is decent. A lot's going to depend on the centerfold. Is it detached? Nope. It's nice and tight. You probably can't see it, but there's a little bit of wrinkling there. Not really wrinkling, more like dimpling. A little dimple right there. Seeing that corner, so it's going to keep me from going above a 6. 6-0. Oh, I should have put in a new board. I separate every 5 books. I put in a backing board because I'm at home and I transfer these back and forth to work at home. So I pack them right tight. Every 5 boards of the backing board, every 25 with a piece of cardboard like that. Keep them. I don't want to do any more damage to them than is already done. If they get damaged, I want it to be in the shipping process, not because of me touching it. Crystal. She should have got a code name. I don't know why they never gave Crystal a code name. You know, I don't even remember what the hell Crystal's powers were. Did she have powers? She had to have. This book feels thin. This book feels like it's missing pages. I bet it is. Let's go straight to the centerfold. Actually, let's not. Let's look at that first and get there. Oh, now it's seeming like it might be right. There's 15. Usually comes around. Yep. So there it is. 12, 13. Let's just make sure there wasn't a centerfold there I don't know about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is 32. Yep, there we go. So, it does feel thin though. But everything's nice and tight. So we got a little doodad there. That corner's a little blunted. We got a few ticks here. Some abrasion here. And then some blunting along that corner. I got distracted, but let me get some few little micro rips along there. I think I'm going to call this one a 6-2. I was tempted to go 6-5. These rips are too much for me to get up into a 7. But I was thinking about a 6-5, but it's a 6. It does feel thin though, but it's got all its pages. They're all there. So yeah, I can't even remember. And I haven't helped me. I did watch the Inhumans series on whatever network it was on. I don't actually remember. Isn't that weird? I can't remember what damn network. That's how bad that show was. I don't remember what network it was on. Actually, was it broadcast? It was going to be ABC. I remember it was going to be the movie theater at first for the first episode. Well, it sucked anyway. I only watched like the first 2 episodes. But I don't remember. I don't think they ever showed Crystal's powers in that either. So Snap Judgment is a very good find, and I'm probably going to lean heavier to very good because in addition, and you may not be able to see it, in addition to these rips, these spine tears, there's some wrinkling here. So this book has been, let's just say, read with enthusiasm, which frankly is the way all comic books should be, blunted there. You know, these little junior executives these days that, oh, look at that. There's a little bump there too, a little rip, a 1/4-inch rip. These little junior executives today that, you know, buy their books, put them right in buy 14 alternate covers of the same damn thing, which is how the industry is surviving. It can't get, it has no idea how to get new readers, so it just figures out ways to get the new readers to buy more of the same thing. And then you get these little junior executives who think they're investors, think they're going to buy a house with these books someday, and they don't even read the damn things. They just put them in the, look at that. You got one staple kind of right, and then that staple is way the frig off. This thing came off the machine cockeyed. They don't even read the damn things. They just put them right in the bag, straight in the bag, boom. Comic books are made to be read. I don't even like when we send some of our books to CGC. Slabbing a comic book's the worst damn thing you can do, in my opinion. All right, so that's a 4-5. No, it's a 5. Baba. Maybe it's a. So only child syndrome. So I do, and you know, comic book nerd. So not a lot of friends growing up. So I do tend to talk to myself. So I do, when I'm sitting here grading books, I do talk to myself a lot, and I make noises. And for a second there, I forgot I was filming this. So that was my. I guess that was my beep 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 backup signal. My ba ba. I decided to change direction, and so I think that's a 5. Yeah, it might even be a 5-5, but I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5. 5.0. So 103. So this one feels thin too, but it's not. This one, yeah. So that was, oh, that's exciting. No, actually, 101 was the last Kirby. No, this is the last Kirby. So look at that. Look at that, brother. You ain't seen that, have you? That's the last Jack Kirby Stan Lee. So they did 102 issues. And then actually, in another couple issues, and we'll probably see it here. It's that one. Actually, I don't know if that's on camera, if you can see what I'm pointing at. Stan recycled a Kirby book that was finished, but had been rejected. And so it got recycled and reused around 104, 105, something like that. Timed, not coincidentally, to when Kirby's first book started coming out for DC, The New Gods #1. But that right there, that's the last of the original run. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The end of an era. We are sad, because then we go to 103. And Stan Lee and John Romita. And poor fans were heartbroken everywhere. Although you can see here, see, look at these mouths. I mean, that's a very Kirby mouth. So Romita was doing kind of his best to ape Kirby here. Kind of smooth. That's Tricky Dick. That's funny. Marvel didn't learn a lesson. I don't know if you know the story. There was a Superman book, and I can't think of the issue number. I'll know the cover when I see it, but I can't think of the exact issue number. There was a Superman book that had JFK in it, and the book came out, hit the stands. It was already in production, already going through the pipeline at the printers, and actually hit the stands like 2 or 3 weeks, not more than a month after JFK died. There's an appearance by Superman and JFK in the Oval Office, doing a little chit-chat. And so for a long time after that, like decades and decades, and even till today, if you had the president appear, as normally would, I mean, superheroes are dealing with world-ending crises. You're going to have the president involved from time to time. Somebody needs to kneel before Zod. But DC would always, do him in shadow or black him out. But not Marvel. Marvel was brave. They were going to put old Tricky Dick right in there. And actually, no, it is Mr. President. I was going to say, maybe that's not. Maybe I'm babbling about nothing. But no, he does say Mr. President. Marvel was going to put old Tricky Dick right in there. And if he didn't survive till this issue came out, then so be it. Look at that. A lot of you kids today don't remember the Columbia Record and Tape Club, do you? That was, I went through a lot of aliases signing up for the Record and Tape Club. That's a story for another video. So, everything, whoop. Were those checked off? See, this is why I love, yes, look at that. So this kid, whoever had this book, look at that. He checked off the ones he got. And so he didn't like Silver Surfer, apparently, which isn't surprising. Number 18 was the last issue. And I don't know how well you can see that. That's 18. He didn't get spoof number 1. He wasn't interested in Astonishing Tales, which was Kazar, however you want to say it. I always had Kazar, but, I was 27 before I realized it wasn't Darkseid, so what do I know? And Doctor Doom. What else did he not get? He didn't get the Marvel Special Edition. He didn't get the Marvel's Greatest Comics. And he did not get the Spider-Man King Size. Or Fright number 1, or all of these other books. Or maybe he just didn't. But he checked off all these. Well, that's funny. Look at it. He got Kazar number 2, but he didn't get the what was the other book with Kazar? Oh, Astonishing Tales. I didn't realize those overlapped. Huh. I thought he had his own book, and just working from memory, that he had his own book and either spinning out of or then went into Astonishing Tales. But this says they were on sale at the same time. Well, there you go. You find all kinds of neat things in books, especially when you get back to the books that kids actually read. So I'm going to call that, what did I just feel in the back? Some wrinkling there. I don't like that. I don't like it. Yes, I don't like it at all. That's going to be a 4-5. Might even be a 4 because that's kind of blunted, but. And some stuff down here too. I'm going to say 4-5. 4-5. Say it like a Maina. 4-5. Wicked good. So is this the one? I'll be damned if this one doesn't also. Why do all these books feel thin? They're not. But they feel it. I pick it up and it feels like it's could be missing a page. Nope, that's Remita too. So where does the... It's not that one. It's not that one. Look at all this Kirby come back in. Is it one of that one? Nope. Oh, it's this one, 108. See, get it over here. See, that's the... Yeah, Stanley and Jack Kirby. With last-minute revisions, deletions, and addenda by Lee Buscema and Remita. So basically, Lee rewrote the whole book, as the legend goes. Because at this point, I mean, he was just giving Jack like a sounding board, you know. Fantastic Four fight Doctor Doom. And Kirby'd go off and do that and bring back the pages and have all kinds of things written in the margins and dialogue, and Stanley be like, you can't write, and would rewrite all the dialogue. And I mean, to Stan's everlasting credit, he was right. Kirby couldn't write. He could plot. He sure as hell could tell a story. But he was no writer. Same with Ditko. Same with Neil Adams. All right, so let's look at this book. This is a good-looking book. This is at least a 6.0. It's got some color wear down here and some little doodads there in that corner. It's the official technical name. If you look in the Overstreet glossary, it actually says doodads. It's kind of abraded. Poor old Sue. Poor old damsel in distress. I don't actually remember who the blue chick's name. Blue Chick. That was actually her name. Blue Chick. SJW Blue Chick. All right. Paper's nice. Slightly tan, but staples are good. That's good. A little browning there. I'd say that's a solid 6.0 all day. If it didn't have that kind of, I guess then I got to bring it over where you can see it. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. I'll learn what I'm doing. As far as YouTube, if it didn't have that one right there, I might even, well, then this corner too, and the color abrasion. I'd give it a 6.5 if it didn't have this, and this. But as it is, it's a piece of shit. Not a piece of shit, it's 6.0. All right, put in another board. And the next round. Where am I at now? 43 minutes. When I upload this, I don't think anybody, if anybody watches this, they're definitely not going to get this far. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Who would watch this? How big a comic book geek do you have to be to watch somebody grade a comic book? This is actually not bad. Not a bad copy. And talk comics. And he's pretty much talking to himself. Because he can't think and talk at the same time. If I were smart, I'd upload this as an ASMR video. Because I'm kind of doing ASMR voice as I talk to myself. Because as I said, I can't. It's fucking weird. Get all my fucks out of the way now before I get monetized. No, it's just that letters page just looks like a different format completely than the previous letters pages that we'd been flipping off. I always check isn't that weird? They tried to do that not that long ago, a year and a half ago, with a Snickers ad. DC Comics did this thing where it did this half page. You know, they wanted the ad on the same page with half a page of the story, and people flipped the fuck out. They lost their friggin' minds. But back this time, you didn't even think about it. Boys, men. Soy boys, metrosexuals. It's a different world. It is a different world. Danger Stranger in the Field. Well, that's kind of a... That looks like that was done in about 3 minutes with a magic marker, that ad. Who the hell is Jim Driscoll? Was he a real person? Or was he like one of these Tommy whatever All-American? I'm going to call that... That's a 7. You know? Okay, so now we're getting into the kind of things that you probably aren't going to be able to see on the camera. We've got some dimpling there and there, but it's a non-color break. But when the cover wraps around this much, so that this black line is actually past the fold, and you've got all white here, it gets hard to see even when you have an actual tear. We've got some color breaking there and up here. And that bottom is kind of abraded. A little bumping there, a little bit of a... Again, you have to... I've got to just... because you can see the bottom of it here, just above. I've got this lamp that I hold the books right under and move them around to really make sure I'm seeing everything. And like I said at the top of this video, for those who came in late, I usually do this without my contacts in, but right now I've got my contacts and then my reading glasses to adjust and then readjust. So it makes I'll be a little more careful, which is another reason why this is taking longer than it normally would or should. I should be going through these at like one every couple of minutes at least. You know, a minute, 90 seconds, boom, bang, boom, bang. Graded, 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 graded. I'm going to call that a 7. I'm not going to quite get up to a 7.5, and that's pretty much because of the abrasions down here. I don't know if I'm... You know what? Well, I got the dimpling here. But there are really no texture. I'm going to call it I could probably call it an 8. I'll let myself convinced it's a 9.0 before I'm done. It's a 9.8, goddammit. What the hell's wrong with you? That's a perfect looking book. I'm going to call it a... You know what? No. You know what? Because of that. Ha! See? I knew I'd find it eventually. You probably can't see it on the camera. There's like a fold right there. All right. So 7.5, not an 8. Which way do these go in here? Sorry, not sorry. I'm over here with the fudging around with a box. What did I say we were going to call that? 7.5. Boom. That actually will bring a good price online. These books these are books these were like, dollar books not that long ago. This one probably still is a dollar book, just because of all that crap going on. And see, you got some blunting and folding there. And some other doodad ding-dongs. Some soiling. Some people don't, like, I count that. If that's not a nice, bright white, if it's got any of this, I don't know, it's probably soiling's not the right word, but, griminess. Grime's probably a worse word, but I count, I take off. I take off, Hoser, eh? See, there you go again. Freaking classified ads. Pen radio. Siamese fish. I don't freaking think so. Well, at least not the kind of Siamese. That's not Chang and Ang. That's not what they mean by Siamese fish. Little things amuse me. Look at that love light. Does that scream 1969? Do. All right, so that's going to be a 4. And maybe even a 3.5. I could probably go with 3.5 because it's got a little bit of a fold right along here. And you get some bumping there and there. But it has a nice cover gloss. A lot of people will get fooled. If a book's got a nice cover gloss, it's like they don't see all of the other stuff that's wrong or that makes up for it. It really shouldn't. Or, it's kind of the same is true that, if an older book looks good and the luster, the gloss is all gone, they'll still call it something a lot higher than it should be because that cover gloss, loss of gloss. Okay, buck. That means something. That's a four. That's a four. That's a four. We can hide. Whoops, I try and alternate the spines when I put these in here too, so I gotta look and see how I put in the last one. So that's a four. And now the thing. Is that the first 15-cent issue? No, it's not. Why did I think that was special for some reason all of a sudden? I don't know. What am I at now? I'm at 50 minutes. Time is crawling here all of a sudden. You're watching this and you're like, yeah, the fuck it is. This is the most boring video I ever watched in my life. I don't care. I'm having fun. I don't care about you. I don't need an audience. I'm secure in my personhood. At least until social media unpersons me. See, kind of browning here around the edges. I don't love that. And these damn books feel thin for some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 centerfold. Yep. And I'll be damned. So you look at it and immediately you're going to think it's a 6, right? You're like, that's a fine. But those bumps there probably don't keep it out of fine. That fold there doesn't help. And then here you got, this is all blunted and you got 2 color breaking folds where it folded over. Junior wasn't very careful with this one. I'm going to go 5, 5. 5, 5. 5, 5. So now what you need to do is you need to go on our website, our eBay site, and buy the book. And then you get it, and you can look at it, and you can tell me all the reasons why that's not a 5.5. That should have been a 6.0. Damn it, that's a decent looking book. And this is, I think we already decided this is the one where, yeah, that's the Kirby. That's the Kirby Redux. It'd be fun to actually look through it and try and figure out like what. Well, that's obviously Remita. That's a Kirby panel. That's all Kirby. That's Kirby inked in a hurry too, if you want my opinion. If you want my opinion, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, buddy. I'll give it to you till you can't take no more. Blunting there, blunting there. Tired of being skinny? She looks like somebody. Who is she? She's a model. I've seen her somewhere, not just in my dreams. Although I like the brunette better. But actually, I like the redhead, if you want to know the truth. He said in the gayest sounding voice ever. That's weird. What is that? It's some little schmeg there at the top of the page. Thought it might be a distributor stripe. All right. Oh, we got a centerfold loose here. No, that's tight. That's good. Good stuff. All right. So, see, that's a little. I am going to go. So, well, see, it's starting to fold, but yeah, it's folded, but there's no color breaks. I mean, it's not even fold, it's just kind of warped a little bit. And you get those 2 dinkle donks there. Why did my music stop? There we go. I'm actually going to do a 7.5. No, 7. I think those folds are. And there's some loss of luster there. I'm going to go 7 on that one. Put it in here the right way. 7.0. That's a bit. Oh no, we had the 7.5. That's the best one yet. This is the holy fuck. This is the worst one yet. Now we're getting down into twosies. Oozy twosies. That's all frick. Look at all that bang fold. We had this one. This one was somebody's pet project. Look at that. Holy crackin'-holy. I may need to, it's about a 1 3/4 inch rip. Is it an actual rip? Goes all the way through? Sure as shit does. Look at that. You see right through it. Can you see that hole? Looks like somebody poked a pin through it or something. Poor comic book. Centerfold's still tight though, so that's good. That's good. That's a 2-0. Because I mean, there's a spine roll too, if you can see that. Bonk. From 7 to 2. That's the long and short of it right there. I'll probably get to the end of this stack of Fantastic Fours and I'll call it good, because if anybody watches it, nobody's going to watch it this long, and then YouTube's going to be like, this guy sucks. Nobody's watching the full video. He's awful. We're never going to monetize him. Don't worry about it. I ain't getting to 1,000 subscribers with this. That's a fucking awesome cover, though. You know, that'd make an awesome blacklight poster. Just gave away my age. You probably don't even know what a blacklight poster is, do you? You millennial. I don't know why I just want to do a Christmas song. Centerfold still good. Still doing the half-page thing. Surprise coin packet. Surprise, it ain't real money. Sorry, cracked myself up. Oh, we switched from Romita to Buscema. Well, that was probably a good thing. I mean, I like John Romita. I like John Romita Sr. I don't have a lot of use for John Romita Jr. He actually chased me off the X-Men back in the day. But I like John Romita Sr. But I like John Buscema too. John Buscema. All right, so this is probably see that fold right there. I was about to say that it probably isn't a 6, but it could be a 5 or a 5-5. But that fold there, and then you can see that call. It's like somebody like held it there for, I don't know, about a month. That's what that is. That looks like a thumbprint. So enough said. I think I'm gonna go 4Z's on that. No, I'm gonna go 4-5. 4-5. 4-5. Did I put in a new cardboard? No, I don't need new cardboard yet. 5, 10, 15. Working on 20. Who can stop the overmind? I bet it's that guy. I bet he can do it. Grit. Sell grit. I wonder is grit even still a thing? I bet it's not. I bet grit is not a thing. That's a Kirby looking thing there. Someone was like, hey, let's make this. Actually, is this still Kirby? No. I can't remember if that story that we recycled was 1 issue or 2. Where the hell's my centerfold? I missed it. Oh, I ain't got to it yet. Boom, boom, boom. Come up to my room. Arnold. This is Arnold. This is Arnold when he had big muscles and tiny hands. You know what they say about a weightlifter with tiny hands? His tiny feet. And what's funny? Who the fuck is Joe Welder? He's somebody with an acetylene torch? Did he make that out of bronze? Who is Joe Welder? Nobody knows Joe Welder today. Oh, no, it's Weeder. I'm sorry, that's an I, not an L. Well, I ruined that joke, didn't it? But Arnold's name isn't on this thing anywhere, is he? It's all Joe. Joe Weeder. Joe Weeder. That sounds like a SNL character. I'm looking to see if he's on here. He's not. He's not. Arnold's name isn't on this thing anywhere. He does have small, though. Look, there's no bulge there. There are a couple of Mego figures that we're selling in the store. I might have mentioned, maybe I didn't. We have a retail store that's attached to the online operation. I work on one side of the wall when I go into the office. The retail store is technically a separate business, separate legal entity. It's on the other side of the wall. We have these new 14-inch Mego action figures. I love Mego. I actually, when I was a kid, I didn't buy Star Wars figures because I was like, this shit's cheap. This, what the fuck? You know, Mego's an action figure. This stuff is not even a thing. But they have these 14-inch Megos have like this big bat bulge and Superman bulge. Aquaman's smooth as a dolphin for some reason, but excuse me, Superman and Batman both have these amazing bulges, but not poor Arnold. Not poor Arnold. He's got tiny arms. I mean, tiny hands. Tiny hands, tiny feet. There he is. No bulge. Poor Arnold. Poor Arnold. It's actually Annie. He's from Austria. He's the Bulgarian weightlifter. So, all right. That's about a 5. Never did learn who that guy was. Flipped through that whole damn book. I still don't know who that is. It's Hans McGee. Some wrinkling up there. Can you see that? Oh, that's kind of... It's not water damage, but it's some kind of... got close to some kind of moisture. It's kind of wrinkled right there. I was going to call this a 5.5, but now I want to go 5. Just because of that. That big old ass rip, and then all the other things that you can probably not see on the camera. But I could probably get away with a 6 if I wanted to. But like I said, I like to go a little under the Lola Brigida. On the railroad. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, and you can't stop me. Oh, why did somebody do that? They crossed out the 1 and made it 5. This was in a yard sale. This was RJ's book. But RJ's mom was like, fuck you. You went to college. Your books are mine now, and I'm selling them. 5 cents. Boom. Fucking mom. Moms suck. Selling poor boys comic books. Just because she left her and went off to college. Look at that. Can you see that? Centerfold detached. Bottom staple. Bad mojo. All right, well, the book itself isn't that bad, but with the writing and the centerfold, probably going to make it a 3. And I got to make a note. Centerfold, detached, bottom staple. The writing I don't have to note because whoever buys it will see it in the scan, and they'll be like, somebody's fucking mom. And Dr. Doom. So, this is a funny story. Not that you're still watching. I don't even know what I'm thinking doing this. So Marvel and DC, this is how Marvel was still behind DC in sales at this point. The whole Marvel age, we're at the end of the Marvel age here. We're deep into bronze, right? Well, not deep into bronze. We're starting bronze. My New Gods #1 is the first official bronze book, Bronze Age book. And so we're only a month or 2, month or 3 or 4 or 10 past that with this book. But Marvel was still behind DC in sales. And then, I don't want to call it price fixing, but Marvel and DC got together and decided that the books needed to go up from 15 cents. So they decided that they'd bypass 20 and go right straight to 25 cents. That was going to help. That would help the dealer on the newsstand because the circulations were plummeting. And nobody wanted to carry comics because, I mean, it was like 15 cents, It's not worth the rack space for the retailer's cut of 15 cents, which even back in 1970 was not a lot of money. Excuse me. Sorry to cough in your ear like that. Try and cover the microphone, but probably just turned it off for all I know. So they what was I telling you? So they went up to 25 cents. Well, for this 1 month on Marvel's case, because Marvel went up from 15 to 25 cents, and then immediately the next month came back down to 20, leaving DC stranded at 25. Well, the kids could get how many Marvel books at 20 cents or how many DCs at 25. Well, that wasn't hard math, especially when they had just come up from 15, and most kids, their allowances hadn't changed any. And so that's when Marvel took over from DC. It was not, as you might popularly believe, because they had the better stories, the better characters, the better art, or any of that. It was because of this little price deal right there. Carmine Infantino was like, nope, we're going to stick to the 25. That's what we decided. That's what we're going to do. Kids are going to love it. Retailers are going to love it. Everyone's going to love it. Nobody loved it. And actually, if you go back to those books today, they're pretty good because, well, the problem was that they had reprints. That's how they filled it out to make it. It was one of those deals where it's more money, but it's actually more pages. But DC stuck in reprints. So I love those reprints because it was Golden Age stories you never would have seen otherwise, for the most part. But anyway, I'm an outlier. I'm an anomaly. I'm a paradox. So why is that? It's not going detached. It sort of wants to, but it's not. So anyway, that's how Marvel overtook DC. It was because of that. They were both going to go up to 25 cents, and then after 1 month, the next issue of Fantastic Four, I don't happen to have it right here. It's in the next stack. I'll have to go grab when this video is over. They went right back down to. They went down to 20. They went 15, 25, back down to 20. DC went 15, 25, stayed at 25 for, I don't know, half a year, 3/4 of a year, and then they went limping back to 20 with their tail between their legs. And by that time, they had lost the newsstand dominance to Marvel, which was no longer also throttled by the number of books they could have because they had their own distributor once again. They had gone with Cadence, is that right? Whoever did the Saturday night, almost said Saturday Night Live, Saturday Evening Post. That's a 5, I guess. No, look at that fold there. That's a 4. And that wrinkling there. And a little spine tick there. Well, that's no more the spine tick. That's a freaking spine beetle is what that is. That's a big old June bug spine. I'm gonna call that a 4, 5. 4, 5. Sure, why not? 4, 5. All right, so that was that. That's about as far as I'm going to go with this video. I'm surprised it actually lasted that long. I didn't run out of memory. I'll upload it. You can do with it what you will. And I'll upload a few more, and I'll see what happens. I plan to make some actual videos as well. Some actual structured videos. Structure. I can't get that word up. But that'll come later. Anyway, hey, thanks for watching. My name's Duke. It's been fun. And thanks for watching.